What's up, everybody? Welcome to Artistry. My name is Chris Sage, and today we're gonna be working. Well, actually, we've been working for a very long time on this project, and I am praying that we're gonna be able to finish it today. My client is dying to finish as well. You said 15?
I think this is the 15th right now.
It's been 15 sessions. I'm a slow tattooer, but I'm very meticulous. I'm not slow. I'm just very meticulous. I like doing things to be perfect. I like perfection, and so does my client. And I want to show you guys a little bit of what we've been doing. So we started this sleeve. When did we start, Alex?
It's been about like 8 months.
About 8 months since we got it started. Yeah, and Alex has been super committed and has been coming consistently to get this done. So you guys can see there's a lot of work into the piece, a lot of color, a lot of heavy saturation. So it does take a while to get it done. But definitely well worth it. Today we're gonna be finishing this right here, her face. It's basically all that we have left, and my boy also wants to kind of just finish this little spot right here just to close it off, because there is a little spot here that most people won't even really notice, but he's very meticulous, just as I am, so I get it. So we're gonna get it finished up. So what's up, man? How you feeling?
Good,
you ready
bro.
for this?
Very happy, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see.
You
the
like
final
how it's
product.
coming out so far?
Oh yeah, I love it, man.
Yeah.
It's been great.
Is there anything that you want me to make sure that I attack today? Like something that you've calls out to you that maybe you think needs a little bit of work, or?
No, just
Just finish what's left.
try to get what we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely get it done today. You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, bro.
All right, bro.
All right, let's go. Okay, so this is essentially what we have left in the project. I'm gonna show you guys the entire project, just so you see what I use for reference during the entire process. Now, I always do some preliminary studies before I jump into the piece, and this is what I want to go over with you guys. So what I'm going to do is I like to study the face, this face that I'm going to be working on, before I get started on the tattoo. And there are several things that I like to do. The first thing that I want to do is I'm going to select the area that I'm going to be working on, and I am going to make a copy of this selection. Okay, and now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to go to image adjustments, and I'm going to select posterize. Okay, what posterize does is it breaks the image into fewer values. So instead of having like a smooth image, you're going to have an image that's broken down into very simplified blocks of color. And what that does for me is it helps me see and understand the image a lot quicker, so I don't have to be constantly thinking about what I'm going to do as I am tattooing. So let me show you here. It's not as obvious in this image per se, but in other images it's a lot more obvious. But let's see, if we change this number to, for example, 2, then at this point it'll be really obvious. You guys can see how the image is essentially broken down to just 2 colors, to a dark color and a light color. Which, as a matter of fact, I may leave this image like this because I think it's going to help me out a lot more than the other way. I usually keep it with 4 colors instead of 2, but this image, I think it's going to work a lot better with 2. So then I take this copy and I move it over to the side. And now I'm going to be using both of these references in order to look at the image and be able to create the tattoo. So now the next step that I do is I start using my color picker. I'll start checking the colors that are in the image. For example, right here, you guys will notice that it's like a purple, somewhere between like red and violet. Here it goes towards the reds, and you guys will see it here on the right side. Right here on the right side where I have my colorless color wheel, it tells me whenever I click on a specific area of the tattoo or of the image, it tells me right here where the color lands in the color wheel. So basically it tells me what the source hue is going to be, and it also tells me what the value is, whether it's light, whether it's dark, and it also tells me how saturated the color is. Okay, so I will pick through the entire image, and I'm going to make some mental notes of the colors that I'm going to be using, and this is also what's going to help me pick my palette for this tattoo. So as I go here to the forehead, I'm realizing that there's going to be some hot reds involved in here, and as it transitions to the lighter area, it's essentially going to be the same source of color, same source, just mixed with white, maybe a little bit more orange into it, and that's going to give me my lighter tones here. My darker tones here are almost the same color source, but a little bit cooler. So I can mix that red with some cooler reds that I have, and I'll be able to achieve those darker reds with that. And then on the opposite side, I'm noticing here, instead of dark red, it's transitioning over to a sort of magenta right here. So I'm going to take a note of that, and I'll make sure that I have that color in my color wheel, in my color palette as well. The blues on the forehead, for the most part, they're going to be a mix of blues and teals. So basically like a warmer side of blue pushing towards green, and then in the shadow areas is going to be a cooler blue, as you guys can see there. And then the rest of the face, from what I can see, it's going to be it's just basically like a red blue combination, which creates like it's some sort of purple tone. So that's going to be, for the most part, the values on the face. And as it gets to the lighter side, to the warmth, it's going to lighten up. You guys see how it jumped completely from purple, and then it went all the way to bright red with white. So I know here in the light areas, I'm going to be using red and white to achieve this, and also white. Obviously, there are some areas that are pure white. But my shadows, as it goes into my shadows, it gets cooler. So in my mind, the way that I process this is that I always think about the shadows being a version of the color that is a little bit cooler, and the light being a version of the color that's a little bit warmer. So I play with that, and then I come up with my palette. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, guys. And yep, see you soon. Okay guys, so after my color study, then I go ahead and pick up my pigments, and this is how it translates from looking at it in an image to now selecting my pigments. So what I do is I create different strings of colors that are basically based on the hue, on the source hue. Okay, I can take that hue and then I can darken it up or lighten it up according to what I need in the piece. So these are basically all the colors that I'm going to be using. So these are going to be my cooler blues, which are going to go into the shadows. Then as these colors, they move onto the light, they start warming up. And you guys can see here, this color is like a warmer version of a cooler blue. This one specifically is called Bimini Blue from Fusion. And then if I need a version of this as a little bit warmer, then I'm going to go to this mint color that is basically pushing a little bit more towards green. And you guys can see here the difference. So this is going to feel a little bit hotter, and I'm going to use this in the hotter areas of the blue area of the tattoo. Okay, same thing is gonna happen with my other colors. I have purple here. This is gonna go into the shadow side of whatever part of the face has this hue. And then as I transition, I'm going to go to this color, which is more of a magenta. Then it's going to transition over to this color, which is a hotter version of this magenta. Then I'm going to go to a cooler version of my reds, which are here. These tend to be a little bit more in the, also pushing towards magenta, but they're not quite magenta, they're red. And then these are my warmer reds. So these are going to be what I'm going to be using in the hotter areas. And then I also selected some oranges, yellow, because there are some areas in the tattoo that also have orange and yellow. So this is pretty much it, guys. I'm going to go ahead and pour those out. And I never know how to finish this part. Okay, and also the same way that I select my colors, which are very orderly according to the color wheel, I do the same thing with my ink caps. Okay, so these ink caps are set in an order that follow the color wheel. So I'm gonna have blues pushing towards purples, magentas, reds, oranges, and I don't have any greens, so I left this open, but I usually would have my greens and grays around here. Okay. Okay, so now every color, as you guys can see, has a specific order. They all go from dark and they finish in white, so they all go from dark to light, and they go from cool to warm to warmer, and then the greens would be here. So yeah, this is pretty much it. This is what I'm gonna use to do this project. Alright, you ready? Ale, what made you decide to get this piece specifically? The subject matter.
Vacations.
Vacations?
Yeah, vacations, different cultures, different backgrounds, life experiences.
Okay. What's your favorite spot you ever been to?
Well, that's a hard one.
Yeah?
That's a hard
You've been
one.
a lot of places?
Yeah, I get around. You know,
You get around?
I get around a little bit like Tupac. But
You're not having trouble much?
oh man, it expands the mind.
Yeah,
to,
right?
Yeah, helps to open the mind to the real world.
Yeah.
But a very mystical place, very beautiful place was the Petén, the Mayan city.
Okay.
Also Machu Picchu in Peru.
That one's in Peru, no?
That one's in Peru, the other one's in Guatemala.
Yeah.
So I visited these places and it's real beautiful, real mystical place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for you, it was sort of like a way of reminding you like really beautiful moments in your life where you had these experiences, or
A little bit of everything.
yeah.
You know, culture, you know, history,
Yeah.
the history of our planet, you know,
Yeah.
planet Earth.
The mystery, right?
The mystery.
The mystery as well.
The pyramids, you know. In Guatemala, those pyramids are the highest ones from that culture, you know, the Aztecs, the Mayan.
It's insane, bro. Like, it's such a mystery how they built all that stuff, right?
Very.
Insane.
It's crazy.
So what got you, because this is your very first tattoo. I want people to know, like, your very first tattoo, you decided to go for a sleeve.
Yep.
Why didn't you get any tattoos before? Why were you holding out?
Well, all that has to do with, you know, finding the right artist. I wasn't just gonna get inked up by any random dude.
Yeah.
You know, that's why, obviously, as you remember, I came a couple of times with my other boy.
Yeah.
As he was getting work done. And, you know, you seem like a solid guy, so, you know, and I liked your work, so I said, this is time to pull the trigger.
Yeah. Yeah, you've been a pain in the ass too.
That's good, you know, that makes you want to challenge your
Yeah.
artisticness.
Yeah. No, you have, brother. Like I really appreciate. You know what's really cool with you, and I've told you this before, is because you don't have, a lot of people that come get a tattoo by me, they know sort of the caliber of tattoo artist that I am. So a lot of people would just tell me, just go, whatever I do is good enough. Um, Everything's great, you just do you, because they've had a lot of experiences with other tattoo artists, so they have this sort of comparison point, right? But with
Yeah.
you, because you didn't really know much about the tattoo industry before, and I think you kind of like not really knowing the full depth of my skills,
Yeah.
it's made you like challenge me even more, which is not a bad thing. Like I really appreciate it. But yeah, I've had to make sure that I make you extra happy.
Yeah, no, like I mean, I've told you before, like I made the decision. I didn't like research other artists. I didn't go visit any other artists. I kind of like based it on my decision of basically seeing your work and meeting you in person, and that was it. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I said, all right, this is gonna be the dude, and I'm good with it. So I didn't like go on YouTube or research tattoos. I didn't do none of that.
Yeah.
All I did was more like just look for the pieces that I wanted, which there was several others, obviously, as you already know, and we kind of tweaked it and changed it up a bit so it could flow better with the piece.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, absolutely, you're right too.
Yeah, because for you, I wanted to make sure there were some of the images that you sent me that really caught my eye, and I just wanted the sleeve to be very cohesive with that look, because I didn't want it to look like it was just a bunch of random images in your arm, but I wanted it, even though they're sort of random, but at the same time they all carry the same sort of color palette, the same sort of punch, visual punch. So that was my intention with your sleeve, was to make sure that every piece that we use had the same visual impact. So they weren't fighting each other, or it almost felt like it feels like everything's part of just the same sleeve, same artwork, instead of just random stuff put together. So that's why, as you were showing me the images, I tried to sort of steer you to certain images, because I wanted to make sure that it had that effect. And I think it looks exactly the way that I wanted it to. So I'm really happy that you sort of, were flexible and let me do my thing, man.
Yeah, no, I'm happy as well. So it's working out for the better.
Yeah.
Obviously, as no experience in the tattoo industry, you see a lot of images online, and you're like, as an image, as a picture, it looks beautiful, but not on somebody's skin.
Yeah.
Or not as part of a collage of several pieces put together.
Yeah.
Which that's something you taught me and I learned with you.
Yeah, because it's not the same thing to just have one tattoo than have an entire sleeve that is all planned out. And a lot of people, what they do is they get their sleeves done piece by piece, right? So, and a lot of times what'll happen is like, it still looks cool because it looks like a collage of different arts that's been put together. But it doesn't feel like one single piece. And since I was doing everything myself, that's kind of what I was going for, you know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, I'm super happy with it, man. But more than that, like I'm really, I mean, how many hours have we spent together now, bro? It's been over 100 hours, definitely.
Oh yeah.
You think we spent over 100 hours together?
Bro, this is like I think this session number 15.
No, but
So-
I'm really appreciative of you and the friendship and everything that we've shared together. We've had some really deep combos here, so
Yeah, for sure.
I've
Likewise.
yeah, I feel that I've been very open with you, and you have been very open with me, and I think that's something so special what we do, man. It's such a cool experience to be able to make
Right, absolutely, yeah.
to make dope friendships like that, and you know, it carries outside of the job, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So we're wrapping up here with this session today, and unfortunately we've done a lot of hours and we were not able to get to the inside part that we were supposed to get to today as well. However, I think we got pretty far. I got really beautiful results on the face. I'm super happy with it. I really took my time to make sure that all the details and all the right colors were there, and I love the result that I've gotten so far. This sleeve, I could call it done tonight, but we're gonna go back to it and we're gonna do one last session. And that session is basically just going to be finishing up a little spot that he wants to be redone, or it's a piece of open skin that needs to be completed. But also we're gonna bump up the contrast in certain areas. We're gonna go over certain spots that, you know, may need a little extra love, a little bit more saturation, and we're gonna go over those. I always also like to go over my blacks one more time, because black, usually, especially on big pieces like this, it takes a second pass to make sure that it's really black, to make sure that it's really dark. And you want that on a piece like this, because what that's gonna do, just bumping up your blacks alone, is going to increase the saturation in the piece. And that's something you want, you know, the more, not saturation, I'm sorry, but it's gonna increase the contrast in the piece. And that's something you definitely want on a tattoo. The more contrast, the better, I believe, because the skin is a very particular canvas, and tattoos tend to fade over time anyways. So the higher the contrast that you can achieve, the better it's going to be. So make sure that you keep that in mind, okay? So when we're done here, we're gonna be done today, and then I'm gonna go back to another session, bump up the blacks, hit up some areas that may need a little bit more saturation, and that's gonna be that. But it's been a good ride. It's been a lot of sessions, and I'm super happy with the result. How you feeling, bro? Do you like how the piece is coming out so far?
Yes, awesome.
You like it?
Super
You're happy? You ready to go? You ready to be done? Ready to start hitting the gym?
Well, yeah, that for sure.
Something that you can do, let me show you guys a little trick right here. I put a lot of white in this area, but I think there's a lot of light going on there, which I don't necessarily want too much attention to this area. So you can actually get a darker color. You want to lower your voltage and get a darker color, and you can lightly graze over an area that's already been painted on with white, and it will darken the area. It's almost like a glaze over, I guess you could call it. And you can just sort of glaze over that area, and you can darken certain spots that you don't want so light. You have to be, at this point, you have to be gentle to the skin, because obviously I've been working on this area for quite some time already. But as long as you're gentle, you can get away with doing that, no problem. Just make sure that you lower your voltage if you're gonna do that, okay? Okay, and that is it for tonight. So far so good. Like I said, next time we'll do all the final touch-ups, but I could call this one almost done. It's almost there. It's a beautiful piece, man. It's cool because like it has a touch of classical to it, but it also has a modern twist to it as well with the coloring. It looks super nice. Like I said, so next time we're gonna make some adjustments. We're gonna bring this a little bit further up. Most people can't stand that paint, so I usually cut it off there, but Alex is down to keep going further and just kind of like complete this area right here. So we're gonna do that on our next session. Like I said, maybe some other adjustments here and there that I've noticed that need to get done. For the most part, it looks really, really, really good. Yeah, so next session what we'll do is I'm going to start with the blacks. So I'm going to go back over some of the blacks to bump up the contrast. And then once the blacks are in, then we'll touch up some of the other color.
And the geisha eyes.
And the geisha eyes, yes sir. Beautiful, check it out. It looks beautiful, man. It looks gorgeous from a distance. Your arm looks insane. There's so much color there. Very nice.
It's a masterpiece.
I love it, brother.
Appreciate you, bro.
Alright, I'm done with you. Let's wrap you up and take you home. Thank you so much. Thank you so much guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos like this where we show you how to tattoo and how to improve your skills as well. Thank you.